Welcome to Jay's Way. Thank you very much for coming and checking out this channel. If you are here today, then you know that we are starting a little series of videos on the immigration process. Thank you so much for coming and checking these out, and I hope you find them helpful. Today I'm going to be talking about the K-1 visa. Its legal name is the I-129F, Petition for Alien Fiancé. What you're doing at this step is, as an American citizen, you are filing a petition that gains permission, if approved, for your fiancé outside of the US to apply for her visa. She can't just apply. They can't just apply for their visa without this first step going through. And it's extensive and it's difficult. So my first two things of advice, and probably the most important advice that I can give you before we go step by step through this packet, is one, go to the USCIS website, get very familiar with it. That's where you get updated information. That's where you get updated paperwork, updated pricing. You need to be there. That's the official place. I'm not a lawyer, okay? I'm sharing my experience and the things I've learned, but you want to be very familiar with that website. And two, slow down. Okay? Everybody that's going through this process wants to hurry. You're in love. You want to start a relationship. It makes sense. It's okay. But this is a lengthy process, and it's a complicated process. So just take a minute, take a breath, slow down, and relax. It's okay. Now, with that said, let's go through the physical part of this application. The very first thing that I have here is my table of contents, all right? And we're going to talk about the actual petition itself and all of the attachments that I have here. And please, comment below if you have any questions at any time. I myself or my fiance, or both of us, will try to answer anything and everything in the comment section. Make sure you take the time to do this, okay? Because those people that are going through these applications, they just do that over and over and over again. You want to make it simple for them. Now, the next part that I have in my packet here, give me a second because it's actually very long. Where is the end of it? And remember, I had tabs in my one that I sent to the USCIS. This is just my backup copy. So this is the most important part right here. This is literally the 13 pages. And check this out. That's the actual petition, okay? And this is all of my attachments. It's a pretty complicated process. Now, if it's not applicable to you, you need to write NA. Make sure that you're very thorough with this. Like I said before, slow down. Okay? Take your time, all right? Honesty is the most important part of the entire immigration process. One lie will look to them like 100 lies. Honesty is the most important. So take the time to do it right and take the time to be thorough. Next, this is called the G1145 in technical terms. This is an e-notification form, and it's very simple. It's one page. All you're doing here is saying that they have authorization to email you or text you. That's all this is. But you do want it in there. The next thing that I have is the check. All right, and there is a very specific way to write that check. I will put it up right here for you. That is the way that the check needs to be written. If you're writing with a check, there's other forms that you can use, cashier's check, and you can also do it with credit card in other ways, but that's a little more complicated. That's not what I did. So make sure you include the G1145 and the check as well. The next thing that I included was a letter explaining how we met and how we got to know each other. Very simple. You don't want it too long or too complicated. This is not a love story. This isn't a book. They don't need to know everything. They just need to know the basic details. All right? After that, what we need is proof that you, as the petitioner, are a citizen of this country. What you absolutely must have is your birth certificate. You need a copy of the photo page on your passport. Next, I have a letter of intent to marry. This one's absolutely important. You cannot forget this. You just basically want to write them a letter stating that you do intend to get married within 90 days of your fiance arriving into the United States, because that is the requirement of this visa. After 90 days, it's expired and they're no longer here legally. So you must get married within that 90 days. And this is a simple letter stating that that is your intention for both of you. One for the petitioner and one from the beneficiary. The beneficiary is the term they use for your fiance outside of the United States. You then want all of the vital records for your fiance. All right. Now, in my situation, I also had to include a K2 visa, which is the attached visa for my fiance's son, my stepson. So I included both of their passport cover photos, cover pages, both of their birth certificates, and if your fiance does not have English as their main language, you want translations of these birth certificates as well. 2 passport-size photographs for all parties. 2 for me, 2 for my fiance, and 2 for her stepson. All included in the petition. Now, in my case, both myself and my fiance had been divorced, so we needed to include divorce evidence. Okay? I included my full divorce decree, which in my case is 36 pages, but it must be included, including, as I said before, a translation of said document. Hers is nowhere near as long as mine. After the proof of divorce, I included my tax transcripts. To be clear, the best thing that you can do is get a tax transcript, all right? Not just your W-2s, not just your a picture of your taxes, nothing. You want your tax transcript, which is an actual official record of that year's taxes that you have to file for, and they'll mail it to you. It's a very fast, easy process, but that's what you need. All right. For those of you watching this video that are in fact American citizens, I will tell you that I also included a copy of my W-2 and my 1040 tax return. Whether I had to or not, the tax transcript was the most important thing that you need, but I included these as well. I also included 3 months pay stubs. These tax records are really, really important. You must have them in here just like everything else, because they need to confirm that you have the financial ability to sponsor your fiance, your family. You need to have proof that you make a certain amount of money over the federal poverty guidelines is what you need to look at to figure out if you're making enough money. If you do make more than the federal poverty guidelines, then you don't have anything to worry about. If you don't, you still are okay, but you will have to find a co-sponsor. All right. I did not have to do that, so I don't have any records of that information. But what that means is that you have somebody who is willing to essentially co-sign. All right. That's another term for it. To help with your fiance's needs when they're in this country so they don't become a ward of the state. After that, I got into relationship evidence. You need to prove that your relationship is genuine. All right? They want to ensure that your fiance is not one of those people that just wants to move to America, so they're faking a relationship so that they can get to the country. Okay? That's the meat of it. That's what they're trying to make sure isn't happening. So you must know that and acknowledge it, accept it, and prove that that's not the case for you. I did it in a significant amount of work is what we put into that. So we're going to go over that section now.
Add lots of pictures of you two together and include the date that those pictures were taken.
With all of those pictures, we also included receipts. all right? Because in my opinion, me handwriting the dates was not as valid as proving that those dates were correct. So, for example, we went on a ski lift together. We went to a restaurant, got pictures of us at that restaurant with the receipt showing the date. We went on a paddle boat together, and I've got a receipt of us paying for that paddle boat, along with a movie theater and just everything I could to prove that we were physically together within the 2-year requirement. Now, for me, we were together multiple times, so we were able to show that. But another important element was plane tickets. All right, I included my boarding passes, copies of my boarding passes, and the receipt of me paying for my tickets. I included a receipt for the hotel that I was at in her country, multiple hotels actually. And then I just had a couple more pages of receipts here. Okay, after that, we decided to take some pictures of things that we have sent each other. Some gifts that she's sent me, gifts that I've sent her, some gifts that I had sent to her son, including a couple of times that I had purchased flowers for her. Anything that you have done for your fiance, prove it. Show them that. Let them see it. All right? A lot of stuff here. Christmas presents that I had sent. And then video calls. We also included records of the length of time that we had talked each night on video call. My fiance and I have taken an extensive amount of time to talk about our relationship and the success of that relationship. We've got videos here on this channel, okay? And I can show you a couple of them here. I talked about that when I went through with my petition, all right? One of the things that I shared is that we had given a list of our needs to each other, kind of our hopes and dreams about our relationship. And we had shared that and talked about those things with each other. So we shared those needs, okay, to demonstrate that we had done more than just be in a relationship, but put effort to have a successful relationship. So I think that was beneficial. And for us, we also had a special page in here that I am really proud of. It's literally the first message that we sent each other, right when we met. You might not still have that, but we did, and we felt very, very blessed to be able to share that. Okay, so here's the list. All right, this is every single thing that you need to include with your I-129F petition. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any, like I said before, if you have any questions, please ask them. And please understand that you can do this, okay? Although it's difficult and complicated, it's not so hard that you can't do it on your own. I really do think that the value of going through this process can actually strengthen your relationship, and that can bring you the peace, love, and joy that you're looking for.